I smashed the birthday cake into his face, then turned and walked away. Part 1, Cake Smash. I stared at the phone screen. The last flicker of hope guttered out like a dying candle. 11:59 p.m. Sebastian hadn't replied. No, he hadn't answered a single message all day. It's my birthday tonight. Will you be home for dinner? I sent at breakfast. I got the ribs you love at lunch. The cakes ordered at dusk. All of them sank without a ripple. On the coffee table sat a 6-inch cake crowned with 2 number candles, 2 and 7. The cream was sweating, the strawberry sliding toward the edge. My back ached from sitting so long. The clock ticked to midnight. A new day. My 27th birthday gone. I tugged at the corners of my mouth, trying to smile. Nothing came. Fine. Sebastian was busy. Big company, endless meetings, infinite client dinners. I was being childish. It was only a birthday. I reached for the cake to cut myself a slice. The lock rattled. My head snapped up. Sebastian stepped in, suit jacket slung over one arm, tie loosened. He clocked me, paused, then frowned. Still up. Waiting for you. My voice came out parched. Something wrong? He toed off his shoes without looking at me. Today, it's my birthday. His hands stilled, his gaze flicked over me, empty, as though riffling through files. A beat later he grunted, forgot. I'll make it up next time. Next time. Always next time. Last year he was on a business trip. Next time we'll do the beach. The year before, an emergency meeting. Next time I'll buy you something huge. Always next time. I watched him move to the bar, pour 2 fingers of whiskey, knock it back. In the dim light his profile was still ridiculously handsome, knife-edged jaw. Straight bridge of nose. I'd stared at that face for 5 years, loved it for 5. Felt it chill my blood for 5. Sebastian, I said, let's get a divorce. The glass froze halfway to his lips. He turned slowly, certain he'd misheard. What? Divorce, I repeated. We file tomorrow. He set the tumbler down and closed the distance. Alcohol lingered on his breath, plus a trace of perfume, crisp cedar, not my usual sweet floral. I'd smelled it before, on his secretary Sophie. Stop throwing a tantrum, he muttered. Because I forgot your birthday? Vivian, when did you get so childish? Childish. Yes, waiting for him was childish. Asking where he'd been was childish. Walking away was childish. It all felt suddenly, hilariously pointless. For 5 years I'd played the clown. He handed me money, the empty title of Mrs. Vance, a cold mausoleum of a house. I guarded it, warming a stone with my chest, convinced I could make it beat. I walked to the coffee table and lifted the cake. The whipped cream drooped, limp. Sebastian, I said, calm as still water. In these 5 years have you ever loved me? Even a single day, 1 hour, 1 minute? His expression shifted, his gaze slid sideways. What's the point of this? Answer me. Vivian, can't we just keep things pleasant? His voice softened, he reached for my hand. I stepped back. The wallpaper on your phone, Sophie's college photo, right? I asked. He stiffened. The silver bangle in the deepest drawer of your desk, engraved SW on the inside, Sophie's initials? Color drained from his face. That night you came home drunk, you held me and called me Sophie. I've listened to it for 3 years. I laughed, tears scalded their way down. I'm the stand-in, aren't I? Sophie left, you slotted me in. Now she's back, working at your side every day. Time for me to exit, stage left? It's not, he lurched forward, panicked. Vivian, listen, explain what? How you slept with me while picturing her. How you made a fool of me for half a decade. I swiped at my cheeks, more tears, hotter every second. Sebastian, I'm done. I'm 27, I don't have another 5 to waste. I refuse to be the beggar in your love story, scavenging scraps. I didn't, words failed him, the facts were mine. Looking at the face that once derailed my heart, I felt only revulsion. This cake, I said, raising the ugly strawberry-topped thing. I waited until midnight so we could share it. Guess that's unnecessary now. I swung with everything I had and slammed it into his face. Splat cream, sponge and strawberries exploded across his cheeks, hair, suit. He stood planted, eyes disbelieving, peering at me through frosting. I dropped the empty plate and spun away. Vivian. He roared behind me. I didn't stop. I climbed the stairs 2 at a time. Our master bedroom repelled me. I headed straight for the guest room, locked the door. His pounding and shouting vibrated through the wood. I tuned it out, hauled the suitcase I'd hidden on the closet shelf, 24 inches, stuffed with everything that mattered, clothes, documents, savings passbook, and my mother's jade bangle. The rest, jewelry, bags, the bribes he called gifts, I left. They belonged to Mrs. Vance, and that woman died tonight. From now on I was only Vivian. The pounding ceased, silence settled. I leaned against the door and slid to the rug. My chest felt gripped by a crushing fist. I gulped air, tears streaming soundlessly. 5 years of loving him, 5 years as a secret punchline, pathetic. When the tears dried I rose, splashed cold water on my face. In the mirror, red swollen eyes, pale skin, and a gaze like a blade. Yes, a blade. Heart dead, only sharpness left. I booked the earliest train to Southgate 5 a.m. Then messaged Jade, I'm divorced. Heading to Southgate tomorrow. Will call when I arrive. Jade, holy shit, for real, epic. Place is ready, Old Town, 1 bed, bit dated but clean. Key under the mat. My cousin needs admin help, you can start Monday. I got you, sis. Reading the screen, I smiled for the first time that night fully, freely. At least I still had friends. At least there was still a road I could walk. 4 in the morning, the sky still black. I dragged my suitcase and quietly opened the guest room door. The living room lights were off, but the first gray hint of dawn let me make out the shapes. Sebastian sat on the sofa, head lowered, a cigarette pinched between his fingers and lit. The expensive suit he still wore was blotched with dried frosting. Cracked into clownish patches, he heard the wheels, looked up. Blood threaded his eyes, stubble shadowed his jaw, defeated. Vivian, he rasped. Let's talk. Nothing to talk about. I rolled the case toward the door. He shot up, closed the distance in 3 strides, and clamped my wrist. I won't divorce. I don't agree. I flung him off so hard my own strength startled me. Sebastian, your signature is optional. 2 years separation and a judge will sign for you. Or if you don't want the circus in court, sign tomorrow and we're done. I won't sign. He bellowed, eyes reddening. I know I screwed up. I was an idiot. Give me one more chance and I'll fix it. I'll treat you right. I'll never see Sophie again. Too late. I cut him off, each word a hammer stroke. Sebastian, I don't love you anymore. From the day I realized I was a stand-in, love died. Now the sight of you turns my stomach. He recoiled as if knifed, one stagger back, face bloodless. I didn't look again. I pulled the door open and rolled the suitcase into the pre-dawn cold. The wheels clacked over asphalt, rattle while I never once turned my head. I knew he was watching from the doorway. It didn't matter. Some paths, once taken, forbid a way back. Some people, once lost, are better left unfound. The station was almost empty. I found a corner and sat to wait. My phone vibrated, bank alert. Sebastian had wired 3 million. The memo read only, sorry. I snorted, didn't reply. I'll take the money, compensation for wasted youth, nothing more but forgiveness? Maybe in the next life. The train arrived. I boarded, found a window seat. As we pulled out, city lights streaked backward. In the glass I studied my own reflection and whispered, goodbye, Sebastian. Goodbye, Vivian's past, too. New life, old trouble. Southgate turned out better than I'd imagined. Jade had rented me a 6th floor walk-up in Maplehurst, sunbright, clean, $1,200 a month, first and last up front. I still held Sebastian's 3 million, but I wouldn't touch it. That was my ace, not grocery money. Her cousin's little construction supply firm gave me an admin desk, $4,500 a month, 9 to 6 with Taylor weekends. The chores were petty but easy. My co-workers were chatty locals, no one knew my history. Days slowed, yet filled. No one waited for me to come home. No one met me with cold silence. No one made me read his mind. I shopped and cooked. Too much salt drew no complaints. On Saturdays I slept in, hit the library in the afternoon, then met Jade for hot pot, beer, and anti-men rants. Jade said, Vivian, you've changed. Used to be dead in the eyes, now there's light. I smiled. I used to live for someone else, now I live for me. I didn't hide the divorce. When the office matrons asked, I said my ex had cheated. They flared with outrage, patted my hand and tried lining up blind dates. I politely declined, men pass. These days any male creature triggered a red alert. I thought life would coast along until 3 months later. That Friday I knocked off early, bought a fish at the market, planning soup. Near the gate a black Mercedes G-Class Cameron blocked the way, impossibly shiny. My stomach dropped, beside it leaned a man, white shirt, black trousers, sleeves folded high, cigarette at his fingers. Profile sharp enough to make Ellis girls swivel their heads. Sebastian. How had he found me? I pivoted to detour. He'd already flicked the cigarette and strode over. Vivian, he blocked me, voice low, exhausted. I lifted my gaze. 3 months had shaved weight from him, left bruised crescents under his eyes. But the face was still unfairly handsome. Only those luxury threads looked ridiculous next to crumbling brick. What do you want? I kept my tone flat. I'm taking you home. He reached for my grocery bag. I stepped back, Mr. Vance, wrong address. My home is upstairs, 3rd floor. That villa of yours, isn't it? His hand hovered, then fell. Stop this. Come back. I've been going crazy searching. Search for what? I laughed. Stand-in ran off, so you need another? You're not a stand-in. His voice spiked, drawing stares. Fine, maybe the first glance was because you resembled Sophie. But afterward it was you I loved. I love you, Vivian. A sentence that once would have sent me over the moon now felt like a bad joke. Sebastian, I sighed, look at me. My eyes are smaller, nose less straight, left brow has a childhood scar. Except for a 3/4 profile, Sophie and I have zero overlap. You love me? Or the ghost of Sophie you see through me? No, it doesn't matter. I cut him off. We're divorced. Excuse me, I have dinner to cook. I stepped around, he seized my arm, grip painful. I never signed. That agreement is invalid, we're still married. I wrenched free, almost dropping the fish. Sebastian, grow up. 2-year automatic divorce. Stall if you like, but harass me again and I call the cops. I've got nothing left to lose, let's see whose reputation tanks. He stared, stunned, he'd never seen me steal hard. I walked past, steady and calm, leaving him standing on that cracked sidewalk in Maplehurst, a glossy Mercedes out of place beside rusted bikes and dented trash cans. I didn't tremble until I was inside my apartment. Then I set the fish in the sink, washed my hands and smiled at my reflection in the window. Welcome home, Vivian, I told myself. You've got this. I slipped inside the gate, hurried upstairs and shot the bolt. Back against the door, I heard the engine snarl below, then fade away. I slid to the floor, heart hammering, not the flutter of love, pure rage. The man was a ghost who refused to stay buried. Next day was Saturday. I spent the morning in accounting class and met Jade after lunch to cruise the boutiques. The moment I stepped off the property, the black Mercedes G-Class was waiting again. Sebastian climbed out, a fancy cake box dangling from one hand. Vivian, he called, gentler this time. I lost it last night. This is my apology. Happy birthday 3 months late. One glance at the logo told me the shop sat downtown and the dessert cost half my monthly salary. No thanks, I said. I'm on a diet, no sugar. Then let me buy you dinner. Old friends catching up, Mr. Vance, we were never friends. You're my ex-husband, I'm your ex-wife. The best relationship we can have is none at all. Do not come looking for me again. I'm busy and I don't have time for you. His face darkened. You hate me that much? Yes, I answered, nodding. Seeing you reminds me of the 5 years I wasted being a fool. Ruins my mood. His lips parted, but nothing came out. I turned away and headed for the bus stop. Behind me he shouted, Vivian, I'm not giving up. I pretended I was deaf. When Jade heard the story, she slapped the cafe table. That bastard dares show his face? Want me to have a few guys rough him up? Leave it, I said. Assault gets you jail time. Besides, men like him thrive on resistance. Ignore him, he'll lose interest. I misjudged Sebastian's stubborn streak. The next 7 days he morphed into every shape imaginable. At dawn he blocked the gate, offering a ride to the office. I hopped the bus and switched lines. At noon he arranged premium takeout to my cubicle. I shared it with co-workers. At dusk he bumped into me on my walk home. I ducked into the police station. He stayed outside. The older women in the office caught wind of it. Vivian, that hunk in the Mercedes keeps chasing you, huh? Looks pretty serious about winning you back. I chuckled. A dog can't quit its own vomit. Casey, I'd barely left the lobby when I spotted his SUV across the street. This time he didn't get out. The passenger window rolled down and Sophie's face appeared. She smiled, graceful and remote, then stepped onto the pavement. Vivian, can we talk? Her voice matched her perfume, cold, refined. I stopped. Nothing to discuss. 5 minutes. She halted in front of me, studying me. I studied her back. We really did look alike in profile. But she was taller, slimmer, paler, money's pampered bloom. She was a snow peak, I was roadside crabgrass. Sebastian's a wreck because of you, she began. He's skipping meetings, chasing you all day. Since the divorce is final, why keep this up? I laughed in disbelief. Sophie, get your facts straight. He's hounding me, not the other way around. If you have time to lecture me, spend it leashing your man. A flicker of irritation crossed her face before the porcelain mask returned. Jordan, I know you're hurting. Sebastian does care, he just needs space to sort his feelings. His confusion isn't my problem. I cut her off. Sophie, let's not kid ourselves. You came back for him. I've exited, the seat is yours. What else do you want? Should I fake a love story so you get a tidy happily ever after? Play your games without me. I find it filthy. Probably no one had ever spoken to her like that. Color spilled up her throat. You why so vulgar? That's how I roll. Don't like it, scram. I spun on my heel. Vivian. Sebastian climbed out, face like thunder. Must you be this vicious? I looked from him to her and felt an absurd urge to laugh. Sebastian, take your one true love and crawl back where you came from. Harass me again. I pointed at the intersection camera, and next time I won't stop at words. I strode off, to blocks later. Sure they weren't following, I slowed. My palms were soaked. Of course it stung. I'd loved him, but mostly I felt pestered, like a horse tormented by flies I couldn't swat away. I needed a plan to make him give up for good. A setup? Hit back. The chance arrived fast. Jamie, the boss, announced a major client visit and told the admin pool to prepare. I scanned the guest list and grinned. Her eyes in group. Sebastian's arch rivals. On inspection day, I was the girl pouring coffee. 6 executives walked in, led by a 30-something guy, Chase, Horizon's project director. Thick brows, bright eyes, efficient air. During introductions, he shot me a couple of covert glances. I thought nothing of it. Mid-meeting, I circled with the kettle. He murmured, "You're Vivian, right?" I flinched. Chase knows me. His smile carried subtext. Sebastian's ex-wife, everyone in our circle knows. The pot wobbled, hot water almost sloshed over. "Relax," he whispered. "Sebastian and I are oil and water. My enemy's enemy makes a handy ally." After the session, he asked for my WhatsApp, claiming future cooperation. I hesitated, then added him. An extra ally never hurts, especially one who hates Sebastian. That night he messaged, "Free for a drink? Let's talk." I was already hunting ways to shut Sebastian down, so I agreed. We met at a quiet tapas bar. Chase got right to the point. "Sebastian's trying to swipe our project dirty tactics. I hear he's hassling you too?" I gave a sour smile. "Chase, he's the itch I can't scratch. Want to teach him a lesson?" Chase swirled his whiskey. "I have an idea, keep him too busy to breathe down your neck. Nothing illegal. Completely legal." He leaned closer, voice low, "Just a little show." The script: I would pose as his girlfriend for a corporate gala, Sebastian guaranteed to attend. Walk in on Chase's arm, watch Sebastian's head explode. Whether he causes a scene or launches an investigation, his focus will scatter, problem solved. "Why are you helping me?" I asked. "First, Sebastian has rubbed me the wrong way for a long time. Second, helping you helps me if his own house is burning. My odds of winning the project shoot up. Third," he paused, looked straight into my eyes, "I think you're interesting. Women brave enough to dump Sebastian are rare." I thought it over for one night, then agreed. The cocktail party was on the weekend at a 5-star hotel. Chase had a gown and heels delivered, the fit was perfect. In the mirror, a woman I barely recognized glowed back, champagne silk skimming the floor, hair twisted up to bare neck and collarbones, subtle makeup, lips in true red. When Chase saw me, surprise flickered through his eyes before. He grinned and offered his hand. "Tonight, pleasant cooperation." Crystal clinked amid a sea of familiar faces. The instant we stepped in, head swiveled, Sebastian's ex-wife on the arm of his rival was juicy enough to fuel gossip for weeks. Sure enough, within 10 minutes Sebastian showed. He wore charcoal gray, the cut making him seem taller, but his face was storm black. When he spotted my hand tucked in Chase's elbow, his eyes turned murderous. He stalked over, ignored Chase, and pinned me with a stare. "What is this supposed to mean?" I smiled lightly. "Mr. Vance, fancy meeting you. Allow me, this is my boyfriend, Chase." "Chase." "Mr. Vance, my ex-husband, boyfriend," Sebastian hissed through clenched teeth. "Vivian. How long have we been divorced? Are you that desperate for a man?" Chase stepped forward, shielding me. "Mr. Vance, Vivian is my girlfriend now. Watch your tone. Respect." Sebastian gave a cold laugh, gaze still glued to me. "Vivian, are you done throwing your tantrum? Come home with me now, Mr. Vance," I said calmly. "Shall I remind you? We're divorced. You and I are strangers. Who I see is my freedom." Sebastian's chest heaved. He reached to grab my arm. Chase caught his wrist. "Mr. Vance, making a scene in public won't look good on you." Whispers rippled through the onlookers. Sebastian flung Chase off and pointed a shaking finger at me. "Vivian, do you hate me this much? You had to flaunt my competitor in my face?" "Sebastian," I said, pity stirring for the first time, "I'm not trying to spite you. I simply don't want anything to do with you anymore. You're my past. My life is good now. This is the last time I'll say it. Stay away." I slipped my arm through Chase's. "Let's go." The moment I turned, glass shattered behind me. Sebastian must have smashed his crystal. I didn't look back. Outside, the night wind slapped me awake. I shivered. Chase draped his jacket over my shoulders. "Nice act." Sebastian's face was greener than lettuce. "Chase." I gave the jacket back. Curtains down, partnership over. From here on, distance keeps us both safe. "Chase, that ruthless? Not tempted to make the sham real?" "Nope." I shook my head. "I just crawled out of one pit. I'm not jumping into another. Men slow my money-making pace." He laughed. "Fair enough. Friends, then. If Sebastian bothers you again, call me, I'll handle him. Deal." After that night, Sebastian vanished. Word from Chase said his firm was under a tax audit and that he and Sophie had imploded. Someone saw her drunk in a bar, cursing him to hell. I felt nothing. You reap what you sow. My life realigned: work, classes, weekends, eating and drinking with Jade. I passed the CPA exam, switched to a mid-size audit firm and doubled my salary. Busy dash fulfilling. When my lease ended, I upgraded to a 1-bed 1-bath with a balcony. I put down a deposit on a little hatchback, barely 12 grand, but it kept rain and wind out. Every day got a little brighter. Until, half a year later, an unknown number rang. I picked up. A woman was sobbing. "Vivian?" Please save Sebastian. Asterisk asterisk part 4. One last look, then goodbye asterisk asterisk. It was Sophie. She said Sebastian was hospitalized, alcohol poisoning, bleeding stomach, unconscious, and kept calling my name. Doctors weren't optimistic. She begged me to see him one last time. I listened, unmoved. Dylan, wrong number. Sebastian and I are history. If he's sick, call his family or yourself. I'm busy. I moved to hang up. Wait. She blurted. Vivian, I know you hate him, so do I. But he's dying. Just pity him. Come see him, please. Pity him? I laughed. Sophie, did he ever pity me? I loved him 5 years like an idiot while he treated me as your stand-in. Now you've fought, he's wrecked, and you dial me? Am I the city dump for your trash? Stifled sobs leaked through the speaker. I sighed. Listen. Sebastian's life or death is not my concern. Stay with him if you want, but leave me out. I'm drawing the last line. Don't call again or I phone the police. I hung up and blocked her. When Jade heard, she clapped. Perfect. Scum like him should hurry up and reincarnate. I smiled but said nothing. A twinge surfaced, not love, just the chill you feel seeing a fallen apex predator. Once so proud, now lying in a ward with no one who truly cared. But who chose that road? Another month passed. One evening I came off work and saw a familiar silhouette outside my gate, Sebastian. He was skeletal, suit hanging on a frame of sticks, face bloodless, eyes sunken, leaning on a cane, his gaze lit. When he spotted me, he lurched forward and almost toppled. I stopped 10 feet away. Vivian, he began, his voice gravel raw. Can I talk to you for a minute? Just a minute. I didn't move. He edged closer, stopping 2 yards away, afraid to come any nearer. I just got out of the hospital. He tugged at the corner of his mouth, trying for a smile that came out worse than a sob. Almost died. While I was under, I dreamed you walked away, and no matter how fast I ran, I couldn't catch up. Woke up screaming. I said nothing. I've done a lot of thinking this past half year. He stared at the ground. I was a bastard. I used you, hurt you, and told myself I was justified. Thought money and a title card were enough. Never once asked what you actually wanted. Vivian, I need to say I'm sorry. Even if the word's worthless. Sophie and I are finished. She left the country. She won't be back. It wasn't the illness, it should have ended years ago. The woman in my heart has been you for ages. I was just too stupid, too proud. I figured keeping you beside me was enough. Forgot to ask if you wanted to stay. He lifted his head. His eyes were blood red. Vivian, I'm not asking you to forgive me. I know I don't deserve it. I just needed you to know I realize how wrong I was. I really do. For your birthday I ordered the chocolate cake you love from that little patisserie. Didn't have the guts to bring it up myself, so I left it at your reception desk. If you feel like it, pick it up. If not, toss it. And this. He pulled a velvet box from his pocket and flipped it open. Inside sat the wedding ring I'd never worn and a bank card. The ring giving it back. The card holds half of everything. I own 10 million. Take it as my pathetic attempt to make amends. P.I.N's your birthday. He set the box on the nearby flower bed and stepped back. I won't bother you again. Live well. He looked at me one last time, remorse, pain, longing, then finally acceptance. Vivian, I wish you happiness. Turning, he walked away, leaning on a cane, slow and stooped like an old man. I stood there a long time. The night wind came up, cool against my cheeks. I walked to the flower bed and lifted the box. The ring glinted coldly under the street lamp. After a moment, I moved to the trash bin, raised my hand and dropped it in. A soft clink. As for the card, I pinched it between my fingers, thinking, tomorrow I'll donate it to the girls' education scholarship fund. Using it myself would choke me, but if it can help some kid who needs it, maybe Sebastian can rack up a little karma. I went home and never looked back. Some people, some things, are like that ring, meant for the garbage, not for second chances. New days, new start. While years later, my own accounting firm opened its doors. Small me, 2 partners, 3 staff, but we turned a profit the first year and word of mouth is solid. Jade sent a monstrous flower basket and smacked a kiss on my cheek. Rowan, you rock. I laughed. You're a CEO now. Watch the image. The grand opening party was simple. Takeout spread across the conference table. Champagne popped, everyone talking over everyone else. Perfect. My phone buzzed. Chase, congrats. Basket's downstairs, go grab it. Also, think about taking on Hong Yuan's audit? I answered, Avery, let's talk numbers, and tacked on a smiley. Chase has chased hard these 2 years, but I haven't been. He's great. I just don't want to start something new on a rebound. Making money, spending it, raveling, studying life's good solo. Love can wait. Near the end of the party, the door opened. I figured courier, went to check and froze. Sebastian, he held a bouquet of sunflowers, looked healthier than 2 years ago though still thin. The old arrogance was gone, his eyes were calm. When he saw me he smiled and offered the blooms. Grand opening, Rowan. I didn't take them. Ellis, I was passing and picked these up. He set the flowers on the side table. I keep my word, no intrusion. Just congratulations. I inclined my head, Chase. You, he hesitated, then simply said, you look good, that's all I wanted, you take care too. I replied. He gave a small, sad but accepting nod. I will, bye. He left, shoulders straight, never glancing back. I shut the door and rejoined the laughter inside. Music played, corks popped, the air smelled of fried chicken and bubbly. On the windowsill the sunflowers glowed gold, faces tilted toward the light. I lifted my glass, stepped to the window. Outside, the city shimmered to life. Rivers of headlights flowing below. My tiny firm is only a pinprick in this vast skyline. But it's my light-turned, clean, mine. I touched my glass to my reflection and whispered, Vivian. Happy birthday, new life officially started. The end.